Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let's all thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for has given us a chance and possibility so that we all can come here today in order to attend today's proposal seminar. Her Excellency, the advisor of the thesis, Mrs. Dina Aulia, and some students of Faculty of Education and Teacher Training and English Language Education Study Program, thank you so much for coming. My name is Dina Aulia, and today I will do a presentation about the proposal of my thesis called The Correlation Between Teachers' Feedback and English Language Learning Achievement. I'm asking Satu Pontianak Grade 7, Semester 2 in Academic Year 2014 and 2015. So there will be three aspects in today's presentation. The first, introduction, second is review of literature, and the last, the method. So the first is the introduction. They will have some sub-theme. The first one is background of study. So Bowles in 2006 said that an English language teaching and learning process teacher is mostly the dominant in the class, and they should be able to promote their teaching in order for students to guarantee them on good achievement and good score. In order to do this, Brown has said that there's this tool that can be used in regular activity that will also increase the interaction and communication in the class, and also relates to teacher as facilitator, and that is feedback. So what are the advantages of feedback? So here I gathered some expert opinion on feedback, and one of them is Butler and McMahon. They said that feedback is one of the 5 key in students enhancing their achievement and good score, and Happy and Timberley said that feedback is one of the most powerful tools in order to enhance students' achievement and score. Not only that, with this interaction and communication too, it will also show that teacher care about the student and will increase their communication and relationship in the classroom. And Ferlazzo said that teacher shows that they care about the students, and that is their relationship. It will also increase the effectiveness of learning in the class. However, the teachers actually do give feedback to their students. So in Leo and Alwasila said that 47.3 students were graded and returned to students but without correction. 31.2 are collected but never returned, and 17.2 are read but never returned to students. So as we can see, the empirical data said that feedback is very important. However, most teachers don't actually do it. Therefore, this study is conducted to know the correlation between the two. Moving on to the statements after problem and objective of the study. So there will be 2 statements and 2 objectives. The statement is that, is there any correlation between teachers' feedback and English language learning achievement at MTS Negeri 1 Pontianak? And also, how high is the correlation between the 2 variables? And the objective will answer the 2 questions in the statement, which is to know the correlation between the 2 variables and to know how high it is, the high of the correlation between the 2 variables. Both obviously at MTS Negeri Pontianak grade 7, semester 2 in academic year 2014 and 2015. Next is the significance of study. So there will be 4 figures that would be presented by this study. So for the researcher themselves is that the study will be the empirical data to support the research that will be conducted in the future, and for academicians that can be using the result of this research to make argumentation, evaluation, and so on and so forth. And for English teacher who wants to directly or indirectly help their students to do great in their achievement and score, and for students if they want to know their strengths, weaknesses, and how to improve themselves. Next, moving on to the scope of research, so there will be 2 variables here, independent and dependent variable. The independent variable is teacher's feedback, and the dependent variable is English language learning achievement. And the independent variable will be influencing the dependent variable. Now moving on to the second aspect, which is the review of literature, and there are 4. First is nature of learning. Students have their own goals. They know their aim when they are learning in language. However, they need teacher to guide them because teachers have their own method, their own approaches, and one of these approaches is CLT. And CLT, that's one principle that we can use in CLT is that teacher in any way should be able to motivate students to interact with the language. The nature of language is that students can learn, but they need to learn with the teacher. Teachers should help the learners. And behavioristic. So psychologically, behavioristic is correlated to CLT itself. So behavioristic is about that stimulus and response. So this teacher will give stimulus such as feedback, and then the students will give response as in making revision and so on and so forth, and they will have motivation to do better at what they're doing, and they also develop new knowledge. And second is positive and negative effect of feedback itself. So the positive is that the students will know their strength and weakness and will get motivation as we said before, and they will also know what to revise and what to do next time. There's also a negative effect where they will get in distress if the feedback is not given sufficiently, and they will also be confused if the feedback is not given properly. However, even though there are positive and negative effects, it is mostly positive because, as the expert said before, it is one of the most powerful tools to enhance the students' achievement and score. Lastly is the classification of feedback. So there are two kind of feedback. The first one is oral, second is written. So oral is the spoken feedback immediately given sometimes, and written is obviously written. For example, when students do their exam and then the teacher will correct them and giving it to them, that is written feedback. Moving on to the last aspect is the method. So first, this research will be called correlational research, which means it is to look into the relationship between the two variables that we have mentioned before, but not explaining the cause and effect of it. Therefore, to be able to actually fulfill this research, the researcher will be using this method called bivariate analysis, which according to Moore is to look at the relationship between the two variables. So we will look deeper once we find the relationship between these variables. We will be looking further into that relationship. Moving on to the population example. So the population would be 300 students who are from grade 7, A, B, C, D, E, F1, F2, and F3, and 8 English teachers in the second semester at MTS Negeri 1 Pontianak in academic year 2014, the same as a sample from the same place, but only 35 students from grade 7A and 1 English teacher. Moving on to the data collection and instruments. So there will be two kinds of data collection to instruments. So the first is teacher's information on giving the feedback and knowing the student's information on teacher's feedback. And it will be using questionnaire. And second is student's achievement score. They will be using documentary technique. And then there will be two tools to correctly collect this data. The first one in the questionnaire will be using Likert scale to know their opinion, attitude, and perception. And the second one is the report book to know the student's achievement score. And last but not least is the data analysis. So in order to explain the quantitative data, the researcher will be using a computer method, a software called Statistical Package for Social Science, which is SPSS version 16.0. As you can see here, the formula of SPSS itself, to find the correlation between the two variables, we need to know the summation of each variable and dividing it in the square root. So I think that's all for my presentation today. Thank you so much for everyone for coming and the participation and for the attention. I hope today's seminar will be able to make it easier for me to propose this thesis. Thank you so much for your attention once again. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.